Hey, hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Guerra, and this is Lessons in Leadership, your weekly show. Your weekly show where we talk about leadership lessons that I've learned the hard way. You've probably learned them the hard way, because that's usually how we learn our lessons, is the hard way. There's really no easy lessons to learn. Sure, some we're observant and we watch others and it happens to others. Then, yeah, those are the easy ones, because it's more like, I'm glad you learned it, not me, but I'm going to remember it. And as long as you do that, you're doing well. But again, sometimes we need to motivate ourselves, self-leadership, because if we don't take care of ourselves first and address our leadership first, how good will we be to our followers? And so today's topic, we're going to take it one step out. I talked about this in a previous Lessons in Leadership about your circle and your main group, or your area of concern, or your circle of concern and influence. And so this week's topic is the 5 things you and your main circle, your inner circle, should be discussing and acting on. Your inner circle. This may be family, maybe friends, maybe a combination, both of. It depends on you. No one is the same. So the 5 things you and your main circle should be discussing. However, this does apply to everybody. The first one is opening a business. That's right. I said businesses. I'm sorry. I should say businesses. Opening businesses and businesses. Multiple streams of income. Folks, in this day and age, if you're only relying on one stream of income, and that's not good. You need to definitely have multiple streams of income. So how do you do that? Commerce, free enterprise, the American dream, retail, wholesale, whatever works. You get out there, sales. If you're selling AJs, you're selling AJs. But hey, that's something, that's another. And then you have your regular 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, where you got plenty of time on the weekend, you got plenty of time after hours. And folks, passive income, if you start hearing this thing about passive income, it's not passive. You still have to work for it. So it is active income. So again, there's no such thing as passive income. There has to be some work somewhere along the line. The next thing you and your main circle should be discussing on a constant basis, and that's investing. Remember, what goes up will come down, and what's down will go up. It's just that simple. So if your stock market, it's too high, then keep an eye on it, figure out what you're looking for, and then eventually it'll come down enough where you can start buying, because that's when you buy. You buy low and you sell high. Too many knuckleheads do it in reverse. They buy when it's high because it's hot. Everybody's getting in on it. Well, yeah, that's why it's high. And then they sell when it comes crashing down, making no money. So again, don't be a knucklehead. What else can you be investing in? Well, like I said, stocks, buy low, sell high. That's where you make your money. Real estate, folks. Real estate, that's the one I share with everyone. Folks, if you don't have dirt out there, if you're not owning a piece of the planet, well, guess what? You better, because they're not making any more. The earth is as big as it's going to get. There's no new land being created, no new land that's sellable and can be lived on. Now, there's active volcanoes, and I know how that works, so I don't need a scientist telling me or a pseudoscientist, or someone who believes in the science or doesn't believe in the science. Just understand that real estate, there's no more being made. There's no more being made that's livable at this time. Maybe 1,000, 2,000 years from now, there might be more available, but not today. Not today. So realize that. Get into real estate. The sooner the better. And commodities. Oh, my commodities. Gold, silver, oil, anything. Now, of course, some of these have a $10,000 point of entry. That's okay. That's okay. But some of them will allow you to buy in parts. And that's okay. Silver, you can get yourself a silver coin. Folks, before the pandemic, silver coins were running about $17. Now, it's August, end of August, September, coming up on that. It's doubled. It's doubled. So for those of you that got in early, kudos to you. But again, you've got to watch this. It's not something that's going to happen, and especially if there's a wave and people are riding it, it's not for you. It's not for your circle. No. Wait for it to come down, or find out who the competition is. There's some investing tips for you. Next, escape the 9 to 5. Escaping the 9 to 5. Get rid of that W-2. Quit being a W-2 worker. It's okay to go with a 1099 to some degree, but do what it takes to not work for the man, okay? You don't want to do that. Of course, you have to hustle, you have to grind to escape the 9 to 5 and give 100%. While you're there at that 9 to 5, give 100%. Don't shortchange anybody, because again, that carries over to what you're going to do. So if you're shortchanging the 9 to 5, you're going to shortchange your side hustle. You're going to shortchange your grind. And guess what? You're never going to leave that 9 to 5. So give that 9 to 5 100% while you're present. 100%. Don't slack off. And when it comes time to leave, you'll know leaving was a good thing because you're giving 100% to the side hustle, to the grind. And again, that's how you escape the 9 to 5, 100%. Fitness, go out for a walk. Go out for a walk, do some exercise, do some push-ups, do some planks. Again, what works for you, what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you definitely might not work for me, because again, everybody's different. But ensure that you're doing something to improve your health, to keep the cardiovascular system going, and you're not out there being a knucklehead and wandering around because you're afraid your rights are going to be taken away because you have to wear a mask. What about my rights? You wear a mask. I wear a mask, and I wear my mask for you, and vice versa. So there you go. Next, self-development. Always be learning, always be growing, always be moving forward and moving in a positive direction. Self-development. If your group talks about self-development, it's like, hey, what's the latest book you're reading? And they start razzing you about the book. Well, guess what? No, it might be time for a different group. So let's recap the 5 things you and your main circle should be discussing and acting on. And not just talking about it, but actively acting on it. Opening businesses, multiple businesses. It doesn't hurt. You could be selling AJ's, Air Jordans online, on Instagram, and then you could be selling books on Amazon. Whatever. Invest. Take that money and invest. That's the passive income right there. Because if you invest, well, there's your active income. And then you buy a property and you build on that property and you rent out that property. But yes, it's active. You had to do all those things, including advertise. But eventually there comes in a rentor and they start paying you. There's your passive. But eventually you have to work to get to the passive. It's not overnight. And if somebody comes along and says, hey, watch my passive income video, and that's wrong. Okay, it's just simply wrong. Next. Figure out a way. Your 5 things, one of the 5 things you and your main circle should be discussing and actively acting on is how to escape the 9 to 5. What you're doing for fitness. Motivate each other, inspire each other, push each other along. Self-development. What books are you reading? What book is the person next to you reading? What's being read? What's being understood? What documentaries are you watching? I'm not talking about movies. I'm talking documentaries. You learn a lot in documentaries. So again, what is your self-development plan, and is everyone doing it? Now, if after watching this video, I'm inviting you, I'm asking you to pause and reflect and realize what your main circle is not discussing. If they're not discussing any of these 5 things, what do you think you should do? Because again, 5 things you should be doing, and they're not discussing. They're complaining, bitching, moaning how they can't get a job. They're bitching, moaning, groaning how they're getting discriminated on because they wear a tattoo. They're bitching, moaning, groaning because they don't go to school after high school. That's nonsense. All 3 things have a definite action plan right behind it. Go to school. Maybe do a better job of hiding your tattoos. Maybe change your attitude. You see what I'm saying? You got to actively work on it. But if all everybody does in your group, if the 5 people around you are bitching, moaning, and complaining, guess what you are going to be? That's right, you're going to be the 6th person that's bitching, moaning, and complaining and not actively doing something. So it should not be a matter of should, but must do immediately. Find yourself or create yourself a new main circle. A new main circle that has everyone moving forward, folks. It's that simple. And there's people out there. There's people wanting to get out of their groups because their groups are not moving forward, and you want to get out of your group because your group is not moving forward, and they ridicule you, they razz you, they talk down to you, and you want out of that. You want to grow. So the network you need is out there. Now get on with it. I'm Dave Guerra. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. Click on that bell. If you subscribe, click on the bell to be notified the next time I post. And until next week, this is Lessons in Leadership. Be good to each other, be kind, listen to everyone, and keep moving forward. Talk to you then.